Thank you, Madam Chair. I stand in support of this amendment to give an appropriation to the Colorado Crime Victims Fund. Funding crime victim services in Colorado is essential because it directly affects whether victims can recover, participate in the justice system, and rebuild their lives. And here's why it matters in clear, practical terms. One, immediate safety and stabilization. Victim services fund things like emergency shelter, crisis hotlines, and protection planning. Without this support, victims of domestic violence, assault, or trafficking may have nowhere safe to go, increasing the risk of repeat harm. Two, access to justice. Many victims rely on advocates to navigate the legal system, filing reports, attending court, understanding their rights. Without these services, cases are less likely to move forward, and offenders are more likely to avoid accountability. Three, trauma, recovery, and mental health. Crime often leaves lasting psychological effects. Victim services provide counseling and support that reduce long-term trauma, PTSD, and substance abuse. This is critical not just for individuals, but for families and communities. Economic stability for victims. Victims often miss work, lose income, or face medical bills. Services can help with compensation, housing, and basic needs, preventing people from falling into deeper financial crisis after being victimized. Stronger communities and public safety. When victims are supported, they are more likely to report crimes and cooperate with law enforcement. That leads to higher accountability and safer communities overall. Protecting the most vulnerable, children, seniors, and individuals with disabilities are disproportionately impacted by crime. Victim services ensure that they are not left behind or silenced. Cost-effective investment, providing support early often reduces long-term costs in healthcare, law enforcement, and social services. Prevention and recovery are far less expensive than dealing with ongoing costs. Victims come in all shapes and sizes. They can be victimized at home, the grocery store, and at work. In Colorado, our businesses are held accountable to create safe, respectful, and professional environments. If we are truly committed to justice and victim advocacy, we should hold ourselves to the same standards. Over the last few weeks, this chamber has discussed and voted in favor of measures to defend victims. Comments from the well have repeatedly asserted support for victims, even when that support requires hard conversations and accountability. This is good, but words are not enough. We must set an example as a body, not just by our laws, but by our actions here. We must support victims in the due process that brings them justice. It is not good enough for us to say the right things. We must do them, and that starts with us. I have seen firsthand as a victim what the failures of due process can bring. We cannot allow that to happen to others. We must fund victim services so that they have the resources necessary to speak out against failures in due process and receive the justice they deserve, but we also must set that example ourselves. I do not think we can go forward in good faith protecting victims outside this building until we show the courage and integrity necessary to protect those within it. Our own ethical complaint process is broken, it is ripe with abuse, and it must be fixed. I have been personally victimized by both a member here and by our so-called ethical process. For this reason, I move that the bill be read at length until such time as we commit to address our own shortcomings, the injustice of our own rules, and bring both light and justice to victims in this House, including myself and all others. Then we can actually address with integrity the funding needed for those across this state. Read the bill at length, please.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Pursuant to House Rule 27, I move to suspend the reading of the bill in order to lay the bill over until Thursday, April 9th at 9 a.m., at which point the reading will begin or resume or stopped.
Seeing no objection, the reading of the bill will be laid over.